So we meet in church.
Yeah.
And you've got a little bit of RBF. You know this about yourself.
Yeah, that's true. That's true. That is fact.
And he's a major, so I'm thinking automatically. Oh gosh, like XO, S3. And for those of you who don't know, not familiar with them, XO is your executive officer. S3 is your operations officer. And here's what every guy knows about command structure in the military. The commander has to have a rapport with the troops.
True.
And so there's an element of being, stern but fair but cool.
A nice guy, a cool guy, somebody that you want to hang out with. You want to have a beer with them or whatever.
Yeah. So exactly. So if you're looking at like, we'll just use your battalion command structure, and let's compare it to something that's similar, the mafia. All right.
That's a good bet.
Your battalion commander is the Don. Your executive officer, your S3, those are the enforcers.
Okay.
They're always angry. They're always mad. You never want to piss them off. So I meet you, an Army major.
Yes.
And I'm automatically with RBF, and I'm automatically thinking to myself, this guy's gonna be.
I don't want to smile now. You keep telling me that.
He's gonna be a punk, right? But you weren't. You were a nice guy.
It's because I wasn't in one of those jobs. I was
that,
in a job where I
sense.
could just like mess around and screw off all day.
Well,
basically.
but here's the amazing part. Like out of all and we'd done some stuff. We'd done similar, work outside the military and things like that. And then, and that all made sense to me. And then one day, something pops up on like Facebook, and you're a stand-up comedian.
Yeah.
So riddle me that one there, Batman.
Oh man. So okay, I'll be. So I, as a kid, I always wanted to be a stand-up comic, mostly because I had a terrible childhood. That's how we're born.
But your parents were so proud.
They were.
It's either a doctor or a stand-up comedian.
Yeah, it's like, oh, he went in the Army, made something of himself. Oh, he's gonna throw it all away. That's perfect. So no, I always wanted to do stand-up. But I went in the Army at 17, so I was too young to get into clubs and try it. But I always wanted to, and then. I went in for my 4-year enlistment, and 23 years later, I retired.
Yes,
so I'm not a quitter.
That's
not
right.
a quitter.
Yeah.
And so I'd been thinking about it. I messed up, and I opened my mouth to my kids and told them that had been my dream.
Yeah.
Right. And about the same time, my son was getting ready to go off to college, and I was like, "Hey, follow your dreams. Do what you want to do." I walk into this coffee shop in D.C. And there's a flyer for this thing called Armed Services Arts Partnership, which is like it's an awesome organization.
Yeah.
I work for them now, or work with them now. My wife works for them. They're a great thing. They take vets and they teach them. They give them like I'm talking with my hands speaking like
it's all right.
the
It's all
mafia.
right. It's okay.
But
we've all got flaws.
We all do. I have a lot. But they one of the things they teach is a stand-up comedy class.
Really?
And so and I was sitting there. It used to be at the DC Improv before the world shut down and everything. It was awesome.
Yeah.
And your graduation thing is like a 5-minute set at the DC Improv in front of a packed room. It's amazing. And
so they set you up with like a legit venue. This is not
for and six
You're
weeks
gonna go
of
tell
classes.
comedy in front of 3 officers at the O Club.
No, it gets better. That's afterwards when you get your soul crushed by going to open mics and you're like, I'm in like an Applebee's telling jokes to one waiter. But that does happen. that's another thing. Comedy's a tough business, people. Yeah. But no, they it's like a 6-week class, and then they set you up with that. And so, but I was like, man, I would be such a hypocrite if I didn't try this.
Yeah.
After telling my kid, follow your dreams, don't follow the money, do what you want to do, all that cool parent stuff that the wisdom.
You don't really mean,
Like follow the money, but like don't follow the money, but like don't come back home ever.
Yeah.
Like don't ever. Like I don't want
follow
you to
your
live
dreams
here.
as long as you're not living with me.
Yes, like not in my basement. Follow them in another zip code. But yeah, so I tried it, and I like I said, I always wanted to do it. I loved it, and just like fell in love with it, and started doing. Now I teach that same class.
Wow.
And yeah, it's and doing comedy every chance I get to get up. So it's a blast.
That's interesting. I remember the first time I learned about kind of this arts program because Kylo Ren from Star Wars, or as I refer to him, Emo Vader.
He does.
He was a Marine.
He was.
Which fits perfectly because when I think Marine, I think Dark Lord of the Sith.
Yeah, but I usually think like not so skinny. Yeah. I don't know how they just break him in. Yeah. Of course, I was skinny too, though. I was 130 pounds when I went in the Army. So
you initially went into the Army the correct way as an enlisted man.
That's true. That is true.
And then you
crossed over, as we
be
say.
An officer because I want retirement and I want to be able to feed my family or whatever the lame excuses.
It was all about. It was not about the money at all. It wasn't.
So you're in this program. You start doing stand up. You picked an interesting time to get involved in comedy. Because
I don't know if I'd say I picked it.
well, all right, yeah. I mean, just to be clear, I'm not blaming you for like coronavirus or wokeness or
Yeah,
anything
that was totally my fault. I did that.
Yeah, that's
from
I
my
figured.
basement.
I knew it was some
in Northern
white
Virginia.
guy.
with the last name White. So
Yeah,
it was
right.
my fault.
It's like you're double.
I
You're
know,
double
it's
canceled.
terrible. It's absolutely terrible.
But it's like I remember one of the things I always appreciated about comedy, and you remember this from the military. And another thing I loved about the military is in the military, the question was real simple. Can you do your job or can you not do your job? Because we're going to go into some dangerous places. People may occasionally shoot us or blow us up. You've seen this
Does
firsthand,
happen.
right?
It
It does happen. And so I really felt like in the sense of the military, if you were the sort of douchebag that was essentially going to judge someone based off of their ethnicity,
Yeah,
you were a punk. Like, we despised you.
absolutely.
By the same token, we were all horribly irreverent toward one another. Like, if you showed up to the team room in SF and you let on at any point that something bothered you,
Oh, it was going to be forever.
oh my gosh, right? Like,
It was so bad.
and I remember us all sitting around watching like Dave Chappelle and everyone
Yeah.
else. And Dave's kind of rebelling against this now. And it's, again, I'm not, everyone's got their, their politics or their things, their issues. But what I always loved about comedy was a really good comic was someone that united the room against everybody.
Against the man, against
Yeah,
the establishment,
against the man,
whatever
right?
the establishment was at the time. But yeah, but you say that it's like in the military, especially in places like special ops and stuff like that, where you're a tight team. It's like one of those things where nothing is off limits.
Yeah.
As long as you're in that group. Like
Yes,
if you come
yeah.
out of that group and you're like, I can say whatever I can, do, but then like let somebody come in from the outside and try to pick on somebody for the same reason. Like no, they're gonna go down. It's not
Yeah.
gonna.
Well,
it's not gonna end
you always see that. You see that group of people where you got a Marine or Army guy, Navy, Air Force guy, or whatever. Coast Guard, is that? No. Anyway, we got them all in there, and we'll be hazing each other. We'll be teasing each other, And then there's that one guy whose dad was in the military, and then they tell a joke, and it's like, no.
I remember one time when I had to wait in line at the commissary for 2 days.
Like, you need to go sit over there before someone hurts you.
Stop. You're gonna be okay. You're gonna be all right.
And here's my question.
Yes.
Because you do comedy clubs, Virginia, D.C., you're getting out there to a lot of different places. There's this concern that comedy is no longer that place where everybody comes together, we tell irreverent jokes about everybody, right? And it humanizes you.
Yeah, for sure.
You can sit there when you're being made fun of, you can be like, yeah, we do that.
Yeah,
right?
for
I
sure.
do that.
For sure.
To the point where now it's like activism branding as comedy.
Yeah. Oh, for sure. Yeah. So, yeah, there are people for sure that I would say try to just push an agenda over punchlines. It's like, okay, be funny first, and then somebody will listen to what you have to say about your thing. But there are times, especially open mics. Like I said, open mics are different than shows. There's like these soul-crushing events that just you walk in here like, this is terrible. I like hate myself when I leave. But no, it's sometimes you get people that just like, I have a microphone and I have an opinion and I'm going to share it. And then that goes from both sides, man. I've seen it go. I've seen it from all sides. It's not just both. It is the weirdest thing sometimes. But yeah, I mean, it's still. I mean, if someone is genuinely funny, I think they can bring that room together, and they can, regardless of what they think or their politics. And it's like, because dude, everybody needs to be made fun of.
Oh yeah.
In this day and age,
Yes.
I mean, there is nothing.
I mean, I am. Look, I'm an elected Republican, right? And I'm like, yeah, I could tell a lot of Republican jokes. It's not hard.
Yes.
It is not hard. There's all kinds of
but
stereotypes.
there are plenty of jokes on the other side too.
Oh yeah, no, it's and that's what I found funny. In fact, the one time during the General Assembly session in Virginia that we all actually kind of like loosen up, because like half the session will be like, you suck, no, you suck. I mean, we're a little bit more articulate than that, but not much.
It is Virginia.
Right? Not much, right? But then we get to the
Virginia.
Yeah, we get to the end of, I know, like the home of George Washington, Thomas Jefferson, Madison, and now me.
And
right?
Sheets.
Yeah. It's like, but you get to the end of session, and they have something we do called sensitivity caucus, and this is where we hand out. I know that sounds really bad. Right? Don't go there. It's like,
Can I get my comedy notebook? Hold on. There's jokes coming out of this.
but we sit down and they hand out awards to people for like stupid, funny things that happen, and everybody like, makes fun of every other side, and everybody laughs. Everyone gets that this is in fun, this is camaraderie.
That is a great idea.
Oh, and it was. And sometimes, and look, as we say, humor is hard. Legislating is easy. Humor is hard. And we have some people that think they're funny. That every once in a while get up there and want to do this. They're like, yeah, we're going to need you to never do that again.
Yeah, never try to tell a joke.
You
From
can
now on,
sit
all
in-
your jokes must be cleared through someone funny.
Yeah, we have a committee that your jokes will be going through.
That would be such a
We've
politician
issued a
thing to do.
subcommittee. We have 3 subcommittees for what sort of humor is this? Physical? Okay, yeah, it's a Mel Brooks subcommittee, and then we're gonna.
This
and
is.
And then we
That's
will vote
so
on it. And if you get a simple majority with the Senate concurring, you can tell your joke.
See, you've already lost me. I don't
yeah.
even know. Like, do we?
But
Is this
that's
a ballot?
the
Is this...
that's the one time we do it. But having said that, one guy that I think, and this will get me in trouble with a ton of people on the right, but one guy that I think has always been legitimately funny. I don't like his politics. Jon Stewart.
Oh yeah, absolutely, dude.
I mean, the guy. So I want to play a clip for you.
Okay.
This is a recent Johnson, and this kind of goes into my question about the whole idea of cancel culture. And are we at a point where comics are getting, and I get it, right? If you're really good at something, it can cover a multitude of sins, right? But
That's yes. I just like to say, Jon Stewart, if you're watching this, I would like to work someday, and so whatever. I think you're a great comic.
yeah, all right, kiss ass. Anyway, so,
It's a disclaimer. You're a politician. You know what a disclaimer. Come on, man.
So we're gonna play a game with Jon Stewart because when Jon Stewart I was a little bit surprised Jon Stewart did it, but I shouldn't have been because he's always been good about
he's
going
both
after
sides,
everybody,
everybody.
right?
Yeah,
He
go
goes
after-
after the right more than the left, but he hits everybody.
Go after the stupid stuff. That's the main thing.
So here's this. We're gonna watch this thing. Jon Stewart and Stephen Colbert. There's 2 things that are funny about here. One is what John's doing, and the other is Colbert's reaction. Because I used to always think Colbert was a pretty funny guy. So here
Before we start this, the thing that disappoints me the most about this
Yeah.
is that Jon Stewart's been retired for a long time,
Yeah.
and he's wearing a tie for no reason.
Yeah.
So I just want to point that out.
That is something. that
Why
should
would
be
you do
doing.
that, John?
No. Yeah, and it's not even, like it was a clip-on.
It might.
You can't fight with that. You get in an alleyway, someone
Yeah.
pulls that tie. It's
You're
you know,
done. You're
yeah.
done.
All right, here we go. Jon Stewart on the Colbert Show talking about Wuhan.